So picture this, it's 2016, you're in a little place called Storm Club in Prague. You're watching Benny L back-to-back Shimon, and you know they've got your new tune that you've sent to them, but they play it, and it actually goes down really well. Your shoddy mix down seems seemingly doing the damage, and you think to yourself, maybe my shoddy ideas are not as shoddy anymore, or not quite as shoddy as I thought they were. And that was my reality in 2016. I started working with audio porn and charge recordings from 2016, and it's been a real learning curve, because it's a new type of working relationship that's not really quite like any other, to be honest. It's you trying to fit to a sound of a label, but also trying to be yourself wholeheartedly. And I feel like the leaning towards being yourself is the best way to go when working with a label in 2025. So that brings me on to being original. Labels in 2025, I think, in my humble opinion, want to see originality. The tracks that make it through the noise are the ones that are more original than most of the other sounds that are out there. So it's very, very easy to buy a preset pack or a sample pack, and also Splice is just really, really very accessible to get a lot of the hottest new sounds. Every time a sound is very trending, whether it be in jump up, drum and bass. So for example, in jump up right now, you got the froggy sounds, and you got the yoi type of distorted, the yoi type basses that were popular in 2011 dubstep. Anyway, that's kind of really, really popular now, and I feel like if you want to get noticed by a label, or even if your aim is to blow up on TikTok, I don't think the way to go would be to make something that there's already 100 other type of tunes of. I would look into what isn't being done, or what can I do, what stamp can I put on it. So that would be my first bit of advice that I think labels are after. And also, when you start working with a label, I think accepting feedback and willingness to collaborate with not only other artists, but it might be the label manager or the A&R. But for example, with Villains, I was working with Crewcast with Villains. I took a lot of, I done the track with P Money. It come together nicely. Then the finishing touches, the label had inputs on the finishing touches, and I agreed with them, and I could see where they were coming from. The original version didn't have a fake drop with the drums coming out. We put that in. That was Crewcast. Big up Joe. It was Joe that suggested we did that, and I feel like it kind of finished off the track. But if I genuinely felt that it didn't, I would say actually I don't think it helps the track at all. But it's important to have an open mind and to leave kind of no stone unturned, and just try these things, at least try them to see if they work. So yeah, willing to collaborate and willing to kind of meet in the middle. So next bit is branding and identity. I think one of the first things that a label's going to look at is, what are you doing on Instagram? What is your TikTok looking like? Because they want to see that you're a self-starter, and you're taking initiative and doing your own content and coming up with your own ideas, and just trying things. I think labels like to see that you're at least trying. Even me I own a label, but also me as just a person likes to see that artists are trying things, and they're trying bits of content that might not work. And just a quick thing that I've experienced from myself, you learn more from the content ideas that flop, that completely tank, that completely fail. You learn more from that, because you can just take whatever you did about that video and look at like why that didn't work. If something does insanely well on Instagram and TikTok and you find yourself copying it and it doesn't do well, it's harder to figure out where it went wrong. So be a self-starter, try things on your socials, and be consistently posting, and also posting about your tracks as well. To gain momentum, it's the best way to see whether a track should be released or not is to test the feelers on your SoundCloud, on your Instagram, on your TikTok. And it's not to say that if it doesn't take off instantly that it's just a flop, but if it does take off instantly, then you do know that that might be the next track that you want to release. And also labels like to see traction as well. I remember like Crewcast would generally ask me, they'll ask me what tunes I got, but then they'll also ask me like what tunes are the most popping when you play them, like what tunes go off the most, or what tunes gets the most likes on your Instagram, or it's all we can gauge it by. You know, you have these followers, you might as well gauge their interest. You might as well give them value and use them to your advantage and get their opinions on which tune that they like. And also, my final thought is just that labels are taking a bit more of a hands-off approach now, like in the sense that they want you to come up with the ideas for the content, but also they'll do their side of the content as well. But I think labels do want to see just initiative from the artist. Like, does the artist want this track to succeed, or is it just all down to the label? It's your piece of work at the end of the day. And I feel like the more ideas that you come to the label with, the better. Like, if they just get radio silence from you, then it's not a good, then it's just not as helpful for them. But also, going back to getting to work with the labels in the first place, make sure the tunes slap. So make sure your mix down is good. Make sure the ideas are good. Make sure you have three or four tunes. I wouldn't say any more than 3 or 4, and I wouldn't just say one. Give them 3 or 4. Give them a nice intro letter and little introduction about yourself. You got to appreciate that labels get a lot of demos, so you want to stand out. And if they don't get back to you, you can, what I would do is not only follow up on the message, but send another track. Just be like, oh, by the way, like you know, like if they haven't even replied to you, just send them another track. Say, oh, here's a new one that I've done, and try and make sure that track is even better than the last 4. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you know whether it would be better than the last 4 or not. And then they should get back to you. But if they don't, it's okay to continue getting the feelers on the Instagram, on the TikToks, or trying other labels as well. But essentially, if the label sees the track, or if there's evidence that your track's got like loads of views or more views than than the rest of your Instagram has, then it'll be more appealing to the label to sign. But it's all a bit of a minefield, and it's forever changing, really, to be honest. So labels are always changing and learning, and us artists are always changing and learning as well. So anyway, I hope this has been insightful. If you want some more topics, feel free to watch this video here. And as always, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.